everyone, how are you? I am so excited to be here with you today. I get to talk to you about one of the most passionate things in my life. I'm such a dork. I'm such a geek. I'm super passionate about entrepreneurship, and is that a word? I'm not quite sure. But I'm really passionate. Like, one of my favorite shows is Shark Tank. Okay, I just geek out on that show because it just goes to show you that literally anybody can make the American dream work. And so I love that show, and I love like stories of overcoming. I love that people can take control and be their own boss and like control their own life. So I love this, and I love this topic. So today we're going to talk about how to build a business of residual income. This is part 4 in a 7-part video series. I do have a home-based business, which I love because I get to work my own hours. So residual income is this. In fact, just did a business presentation today. This is residual income right here. Your time versus your finances, right? Your time versus your money. So what residual income means is that the longer you do something, the less time you have to put in, okay? That's what that means. So the longer you do something, the less time. So in the beginning, it's going to seem like you're putting in, you're putting in a lot of time, represented by here, for not a whole lot of payoff, right? That's what residual income is. And then as time goes on, you put in a little bit less time for a little bit more money. And then as time goes on, you see that the balances start to tip in your favor. So this is what I teach whenever I do like an actual presentation, is like, this is residual income. In the beginning, you put in more time, just like, you know, anybody who like a musician, right? They put in a lot of time to create. They have to write the song, they have to practice, they have to recruit the band, they've got to do all the recordings, they have to you know, auto-tune. There's all these different things that go into it. In the beginning, I was only making like, I don't know, $30 a week at what I do. And people would have thought, you're crazy, you know, spending 10 hours a week for $30. That's like, what, $3 an hour? I don't even know if I'm doing the math right. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that would be about right. That'd be like $3 an hour. You're crazy to do that. But I knew about this model, this whole idea of residual income, that eventually it would way tip in my favor as long as I was consistent. So that's what we're talking about today. How do you stick to something that isn't financially really paying off for you in the beginning? Like, what's going to make you do that? So tip number 4 is long-term thinking. You need to be thinking about what is possible and what is coming. What are you setting yourself up for? So in order to stay in the long-term thinking, there are a couple things that you can do. Number 1, you need to consistently make sure that your actions that you're doing each and every day are in line with that long-term thinking, okay? So for instance, if long-term, my goal over the next year, say I wanted to slow play it, was to lose, we'll just say lose like, I don't know, 20 pounds over this next year. Now that doesn't seem like a whole lot to do over a year, right? So it might not seem significant that I go and pick up a hot fudge sundae, you know, every single Saturday, all those things, right? But if I'm thinking long term, then I have to measure that decision, that action that I'm taking against that long-term thinking. I have to think, okay, craving for hot fudge sundae, short-term thinking, short-term reward, or am I truly going after 20 pounds over the next year? Now, if I want to get the 20 pounds in the next year pretty easily, then I just skip the Sundays. Maybe I only do it once a month instead of once a week, right? So continuously basing your actions on that long-term thinking, okay? So when it comes to building a business, we need to look at it in the same mindset. We have to frame it the same way and go, okay, I'm going to sit down. Every day that I sit down in front of my computer, me personally, I only have about 2 hours a day that I get to work Monday through Friday. So still, that's about the 10 hours a week. So what am I going to do when I sit down in front of the computer? I need to do the actions that are based on my long-term thinking. Now, if I just sat down on my computer and started like just scrolling Facebook and, oh, I wonder who I should talk to today, or, oh, maybe I should just do some online shopping real quick, those actions are not based on my long-term thinking. My long-term goal is I would like to get to the next level in my business. I'd like to have a little bit more financial security so that I can tithe more, I can donate more, I can help other people get to the next step. So if I'm truly trying to help other people become financially free individuals, then it will not benefit them or myself or my long-term thinking for me just to do like willy-nilly whatever came my way, or like just spend 2 hours in my inbox, checking emails. I need to be doing actions based on where do I really want to be, a year, 5 years from now. So the next time you sit down in front of your computer, especially if you are a business owner, I want to ask you to challenge yourself. Like, really start to ask yourself, is this long-term thinking or is this short-term thinking? Always think about, like, is that an action that's going to take me to my ultimate long-term goal? Okay. So one thing that helps me stay on task with this is I continuously ask myself a question. And I learned this from one of the great mentors, Brian Tracy, is a personal development guru. Is this the most important use of my time right now? And so when I'm with my kids, that answer is yes. Like if I'm with my kids, then I ask myself, and I'm sitting there on the floor playing potato heads with them, is that the most important use of my time right now? Yes, because that is my purpose at that moment, is to be with them in that moment. When I'm sitting behind my computer, is it the best use of my time to be doing some online shopping? Absolutely not. Is that the most important use of my time right now? No, that would not be. Sitting here doing a Facebook Live with you, that's one of the most important uses of my time because it fills me up. This is what I get passionate about. I totally geek out about this stuff. I love teaching people business stuff and personal development and goal achievement. That's what I love. So is it the most important use of my time? Absolutely. Because hopefully it serves you. I've been served so much by this information. I just want to help you too. The next thing that really helps is to always think about the process of, when you're building a business, you need to keep your eyes off of the numbers, keep your eyes off of the income. Yes, we need to have income goals. Yes, we need to have financial goals. Those are very important because without numbers, we really don't have anything to aim for, right? Without numbers, we have no measurement. So for instance, if I'm talking to somebody about building their online fitness business, and I'm talking to them about having an online boot camp, and how many people have you invited this week? That's an important number. You have to be able to measure, because without the ability to measure something, you have no way of knowing where you're at. You have no way of knowing if you're behind, if you're ahead, how to track. If you do not track what you do, you cannot become more successful at anything, period. End of subject, ever. You need to be tracking the most important things in your life, okay? So you need to think about, of course, the numbers are important, but you need to be always thinking relationship first, okay? You can't see people as dollar signs. You can't look at the end result as only being a financial reward, because if that's it, honestly, it's going to be empty. The true blessing is who you are becoming at the time. That's a true blessing. Like, who do you want to become? Who do you want to be? Look, time's going to pass anyways. You might as well make the best of it. You might as well become the best you that you could be. Be the best wife. Be the best mom. Be the best friend that you can be. The best kid. All that stuff. The time is going to pass anyways. So it's just a matter of like, who do you want to be in the process, right? So I always say that's like long-term thinking. Think about, okay, what is the long-term goal here? And who do I want to be in this moment long-term? Like, is this how I want it to be? Every time you sit down to work your business, you need to ask yourself, can this duplicate? Like, can I teach someone else to do what I'm doing? And that's really important, especially in a home-based or an online franchise. That's really important because you don't want to make yourself so niche that you won't be able to teach it to somebody else. I just want to share my experience. I don't want to have to be a nutritionist. That's not who I want to be. I just want to be somebody who helps other people with their health, their nutrition, their relationships, and their businesses. A lot of times it's the start that stops us, right? Because like, we can sit down, we can create a vision board, we can think about all the amazing things that we want to achieve out of life. But at the end of the day, like, if we don't feel like that's possible, or if we feel like it's so far out of our reach that it's just not going to happen, then we don't even get started. Just because like you're not for sure about the outcome of a particular thing, does that mean that you shouldn't even start? I didn't know that it was going to be successful. I didn't know that I'd be able to retire within a couple of years. I didn't know that I'd be able to work part-time and make a full-time income and start a family and work from home. Like I never and I just did not think that was in my cards, to be honest with you. But I didn't know the outcome. But I'm so glad that didn't stop me. Like in the beginning, I was like, I just want to be able to afford food and not stress about like the grocery bill. And then I was like, oh wow, maybe I'll be able to, pay off my car. And then I was like, oh wow, maybe I'll be able to create a savings account. Oh my gosh, I can pay off all that debt that I owe. And oh wow, I can actually start a retirement plan. Oh, I can quit my full-time job. So it evolved. It became it became something that I did not even think was possible. Like I shot for the stars, but I didn't think it was possible. I was like, I don't know if this is possible, but I'm sure going to try because other people have done it. Like, why the heck can't I? I'm not in the business of making people do anything that they don't want to do. It's not fun to drag people around. Like, is it fun to make your child do something? That's not fun. I'm not in that business. I want to work with people who want to work with me. I want to teach people who want to be taught. I want to work with people who are just fantastically positive. So anyways, I'm just really excited to get to know you better. If you want, you can drop a comment below. You can always rewind this, but this is part 4 of a 7-part series. So stay tuned, subscribe. Thank you, and have a wonderful day. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.